Hi, this is Cousin Russ. Another in a series of my Back to Basics videos that I've been doing. And this one is, I'm not probably not going to put on my blog, but I will put it in my community because we've had a discussion going on and I want to talk about this for a little bit. This all started with a reminder of an ancestry best practice video. A link to that video or in the comments that are along with this post. And this is where Crista Cowan, the barefoot genealogist, walked through what she believes to be best practice on how to handle online trees. And I had to think about it, and I really liked what she had to say, but how does that video apply to me? So the term came up called a clean tree. It's one that I uh, coined, term that I coined. What it means is no alternate facts, that you just get the basics. Everything is cited, but you only get the basics. Your conclusion, some might call it a conclusion-based tree, and I'm okay with that. And I want to compare that with a messy tree. That is clearly my tree. It is messy. It's a real mess. So what I want to do now is show you what these two types of trees look like. I had to see it for myself. I had to work with it for a little bit, but I had to figure out, can I deal with a messy tree? Now I'm almost there. But I'm going to talk through this because I have these are live trees that I'm going to show you. So I'm going to go over to my online tree. This is the messy tree, or I'm sorry, the clean tree, and the tree name is up at the top. We're related, full clean tree. This is a clean tree that was based on my messy tree. Now I'm going to show you an example. Now this slides around, as you know, but I want to click on the down arrow for find a person because I have a specific example that I want to show you. So I'm going to click on the list of people and I will get a message, and I'm going to look for Smith and search. And when I find the list of Smiths, I want Ray Ross Jr. So I am going to Ray Ross Jr.'s profile, and there are 3 facts. But what I want to show you is if I click on this link, it will tell me where I got that information from. I got it from 2 sources. One was the We're Related app, and one was a comment from an ancestry member tree person. It's not from another tree. It's someone who left a comment on my tree. This information came from the same 2 sources, the birth and the death information. The burial only came from one. Now, the flip side of that is if I click on We're Related, it gives me the birth name, death name, and the also known as, AKA. So that tells me that I got those 3 bits of information from this source, or from this source, I got these 3 bits of information. Now, what I learned in working through this project is a feature that I sort of talked about before, but I didn't realize its impact. Now, here is a downward arrow that next to show. It only has 2 options for me: the family event and the historical insights. So I'm just going to click on the family events, and it shows the death of his mother and his father. Okay, enough for that. This is the clean tree. Let me go to let me point out some options that are here. You can view the tree, which is where we started, and I'm just going to click on there. But what I want to point out is something that I've done with my trees to communicate with anybody who comes to this tree. And right now it's private, unsearchable, so only I will see it or somebody that I invite. But what I have done is created a tree overview. And there's some text up here at the top. And there's recent stories. Like if I click on this, it says notes about this online tree, and it brings up some comments that I have written. When somebody comes to this tree, I encourage them to read the overview, the tree overview, because I have some information in here about how I am dealing with this tree. So I really want anybody coming to the tree, look at uh, the recent stories that I've added. There's 2 of them. They're 1, 2. These are the to-do lists that I'm working on for this file. But there's some text. Again, this file was created based on the Ancestry app. So far, you can't really see that. And there are hints. And I am only inviting certain people. If you're an Ancestry We're Related app cousin of mine, I will invite you at your request. Now let's go to another tree. This is the tree that I started with, but it's messy. This is my messy tree. And where I just mentioned before, there's a tree overview, and I'm going there first because I want to there's some data here. But there's now 7 stories on this tree, several that I've added, and others, a contributor added to this tree. So we can add stories. I can, the contributor can add stories. But the point is, I want to show you what a messy tree looks like. So we'll go back to the tree view. We don't have to do that, but I will. Then I want to go to find that same person. I'm not going to cheat. I'm going to go and type Smith again and search. And I come down to Junior. And I can see that I left on the family tree view. So basically, what I showed you in the clean tree is the exact same thing that I have here. So you're looking at a clean tree, except there's some data that didn't come from We're Related. It came from the comment from a contributor, editor to this tree. So did the death. So did the burial. Again, I can click on each fact and see where it came from, or I can click on, oh, We're Related. Nothing came up. And here is the messy tree. This is the clean view of my messy tree. If I go to show, I now have alternate facts. I did not have that in the alternate tree, in the clean tree, because there were none. But now I turn on the alternate facts, and now you see the messiness. Now, if I click on We're Related, it's going to point that it gave me the birth date, and the only thing the app gave me was the year, my position, and this is talked about in the tree overview, that I do not leave year alone. I always add about, because it may be plus or minus 18 months. So you can clearly see that along the way, I had 2 birth facts, one with the full birth date and location, the other one with just a year. And I want to click on the other link, and you see the data that came from the contributor. Now, again, the magic is right here. I can turn on and, oops, sorry about that, turn on and turn off Where did Junior go? Turn on and turn off the alternate facts. So now this is the clean view, but how did I get there? I turn on the alternate facts. Everything is documented. The trick that still trying to figure out is how to communicate that information to someone who came to the tree that says, well, how did you get from here to there? Well, this one's pretty obvious. There's no real difference in the year. It said about 1821. This gave me the exact date. 1922 or 1990. Death was 1922. So there's a problem there, and it's probably in my data. So there's something wrong, but I got better information, and that's where it came from. That's the burial. I'm sorry, the burial of the death. So I have a death date that's wrong from the app. I will go back, and it may be my typo. So there is a clean versus dirty, messy tree, my understanding. So the bottom line here is the ancestry member tree, I believe, meets both needs of clean tree and a messy tree. The possum, what's missing is the ability to see notes. Now, I want to be fair about this, and I just remembered before I turn this off. If I go to Tools, I can view comments. So if there are comments, and there are the comments that I reflect down here, but these are comments that were left on the tree by an editor. So you can see that there are comments. You go get them. So I would beef up this this problem that I have down here, because I will go back and look at it. This is probably a data entry problem on my part, but I will go back and I can leave a comment here, just like you saw from the other editor, that there's tools, view comments, and that data is right here, and there's where I got the information. Except this typo probably on my part. But this is where I could leave comments about how I arrived at the conclusion that I left with. Not sure that's the easiest one. I'm not sure that, I don't believe that a guest can see those notes, but anyhow, that's another Back to Basics, a clean tree versus a messy tree. Please leave comments in the community, because I'll be watching for them. There's some conversation going there already. Hope this was helpful. I know it was helpful for me to spend some time in the online ancestry member tree, because I don't normally do that. But this project, I had to do it. I had to see what a clean tree would look like, how I would use it, and what a messy tree. And turns out that the messy tree can be a clean tree with the use of the options that Ancestry has given us. Thank you, and have a great day.